Hi everybody, I'm very sorry about what happened with my internet connection here in Chile. This is just another attempt to communicate what I wanted to say during the panel. Thank you to the American Society for the invitation. Artishock is an online platform focused on Latin American contemporary art. It was founded in 2010 here in Santiago de Chile and now reaches the 35,000 unique visitors a month. The online format has always worked for us due to its immediacy, something that characterizes our way of working. Since I have training in journalism and in journalism with tight deadlines, so we always have a tendency to post news reporting, breaking news, and publishing on time. I mean, at the moment in which events are happening. And very importantly, we always look to react to contingencies or crises, not only to this breaking news, but through more calm analysis and reflections when our collaborators can have their heads on their shoulders and find that moment of emotional and intellectual peace to be able to write. So for us, in particular, the arrival of the world health crisis caused by coronavirus is a second wave of crisis here in Chile, because just a few months ago, starting on October 18th, specifically, we have a social outbreak that is not yet over, and that has only been contained at the level of the street protest because of the quarantine. A quarantine that, by the way, is not mandatory. The majority of the population has been responsible and has decided to stay at home. So the health crisis here in Chile has hit very hard for the whole country and for the whole world, of course, but here, specifically here, taking into account this explosive political and social crisis. And what I've seen, it's a phenomenon or something like kind of characteristic here is that from the streets, the population went to lock themselves up in their houses, and that's very striking. Regarding the local art circuit, we're seeing replicas of what has been done in other parts of the world. The spaces dedicated to show and promote art have obviously closed and have opted for the formats that we already see around in the internet. They are set up online showrooms, a lot of activity on social networks, lives, video interviews, podcasts, etc. In other words, the circuit had to adapt by force at a rate and a speed that these circumstances demand, and with the tools that they have at hand. A little bit like it happens with all the rest of the productive sectors, with teleworking and distance education. Obviously, no one was prepared for something like this. This crisis has also exposed the precariousness of a circuit so dependent on so few resources. Then all the galleries go out to sell works at a special price for a limited time. There is something like you cannot avoid, but you have to. I mean, in terms of the commercial circuit, you have to keep selling work. I think that we are oversaturated with free access online content. Not in another life could we consume everything that currently circulates on the internet, and so I wonder what for. This circumstance has been taken in which we are all supposed to be discouraged to fill ourselves with information, to entertain ourselves with everything instead of opting for reflection or introspection. But it is the system that pushes us once again to this overwhelmed consumerism, to keep our minds busy, to fill ourselves with entertainment so as not to get depressed. And I think feeling down, anxious, or depressed is completely okay. I think that this is like a morning. I personally cough in this dilemma. Sometimes I freeze or lose focus. Sometimes I get excited and keep doing what I can from my field of action. And it is a roller coaster of emotions, many mixed feelings. On the other hand, I also wonder how is how cultural managers and art professionals, it did not occur to them before the health emergency that online content is a fertile field to expand their respective works. It seems like now everyone is taking the tools and the scope of the virtual very seriously. Any crisis, of course, sparks creativity. Perhaps that's what's happening now. That's the I think that's the reason why we have this kind of cacophony of information over the internet, and I see it also as a response, of course, to the need and to the need not to lose business or lose audiences, because audiences translate into more tickets and more revenues, and of course this benefits businesses. So the other thing I was thinking in addition to this is that there is a whole issue of free content, freely accessible, that comes because of this solidarity and the community effect that the pandemic has awakened. I wonder if this will continue to be so after everything is back on track in whatever form this new world takes, or once cultural sector, the actors in the cultural sector realize the advantages and benefits of online content, will they recognize that these are efforts that deserve to be remunerated accordingly? It's another question. At the public level in Chile, well, there is a little to tell that is encouraging. Guild associations of art have made diagnostic studies on the current situation of cultural workers and the impact that the coronavirus is having and will have in their lives, but this stays on an economical level, on how they will survive. A union organization actually has created a fund which seeks to help artists with the most economic vulnerability, and we will see the results of that. So in terms of what we have been doing, this crisis hit us in the middle of our 10th anniversary. We had planned different milestones to celebrate our anniversary. At the editorial level, we continue to publish our content on a daily basis. The pace has obviously slowed down because there are no longer, these exhibitions that we used to support both month by month. But we are rethinking our content in the face of contingency, just as we did during the social revolt here in Chile. By that time, we launched an open call and for text and images related to the contingency. And now we are also calling inviting some professionals from Latin America to write and reflect on the coronavirus crisis. And so far we had posted some content related to how the pandemic is affecting different artistic circuits in Latin America, both public and private. And well, we are still working on well, we did also an invitation to some writers to build a glossary of the pandemic, and we are about to receive other texts during the coming weeks from our most permanent contributors.